When it comes to the weekend, there are plenty of things to have fun with and enjoy, but every now and again it is worth getting into the car and exploring the UAE. Here at the Mleiha Archaeological Centre and surrounding areas, it is steeped in history dating back to when human beings first arrived in the area and beyond. So come with me as we discover Mleiha. Good morning, Ajmal.
Morning, Tom. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Welcome to Mleiha.
Thank you very much.
This way, please.
All right, let's go. So, Ajmal, this is
this
our
is
first
the
stop,
palace,
the
and our
palace.
first stop. And out here you can see the layout of the palace and how it's been designed.
We're talking 2,000 years ago, are we?
Literally, yeah. Between 2,000 to 2,400 years back.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go and have a look.
So we're entering the palace area of Mleiha, and this is a structure that is from the late pre-Islamic period. As we walk up, you can see the whole structure.
Wow.
And you can see the different rooms and the courtyard inside. And there were 8 watchtowers, and those watchtowers were for security reasons. This would have been the residence of the seat of power, or the royal residence per se.
Okay. And obviously the fort has been built up, in the last couple of years, just that we can have an idea of
Exactly.
what
When
the
we
palace
first found
was
it,
like.
the palace was in ruins. So what the Archaeological Authority of Sharjah did was build it up a bit, so at least you get to see the structure and how this place was at the foundation level. If you look closely at the walls, you'll see a thin layer of cloth in between.
Yes.
All right, that differentiates old from new. So what's below that layer of cloth is the actual structure, slightly plastered to protect it from rain and the elements. And above that has been rebuilt to a foundation level.
How deep was the palace buried when it was discovered?
It was completely buried in sand. There was just 1 or 2 walls poking through.
Amazing.
So this whole area is full of camel farms. So this was an old camel farm itself. And when the camel farm owner, by chance while herding his camels, bumped into one of these walls and tripped over, that's how they found the site. So it's very interesting, the history of this place is.
So Ajmal, this is the farmhouse complex.
Correct. The farmhouse that you're talking about is right there in front of us. That would have been the support unit to the bakery, which we'll have a look in a short while as well.
From what we're seeing here with the palace and the farmhouse and kitchen and all of the different archaeological sites that we've discovered here at Mleiha, why was it so important that people settled here 2,000 years ago? Because what was it about this place that made them go, let's stay here and set up home?
I believe it's the strategic location, right? Being situated between the 2 coastlines of west, which is Dubai and Sharjah, and east, which is Fujairah, Kalba cities. You're right in between trade from both sides.
This to me looks like an early form of a toilet, but I'm guessing it's not.
It's not, it's a furnace. Here you can see the stone grinding tools that we use to make flour and to make dough. So this was the support unit, the processing unit for the bakery. And people would make their dough here and then carry it over to there.
Come over to the oven.
Exactly, to the oven. So these 2 ovens were the main units for making bread.
It's the only oven I think I've ever seen where you actually walk into it.
Yeah, there's 2 reasons for that, right? One was wind and the other was sand.
Well, Ajmal, get the pizzas on. And
Definitely, yes.
Ajmal, we've seen where the rich lived in the palace. We've seen the cooking quarters of the town of Mleiha. I guess it's only right that we see where everyone ended up.
That's where we are. So this is the burial chambers.
Yep.
We've uncovered over 125 graves.
Wow.
Including 6 monumental tombs, which you can see right out there. Obviously, those were for the rich and powerful.
Okay.
And the rest are all laid out across the site. Wherever you see a brick, that indicates a grave which has been excavated by the archaeological department.
And you can get inside the grave as
Exactly.
well. I never thought I'd be buried alive, but here goes. Oh, spooky.
We believe this is where the body would have laid, and this is where the belongings of that person would have been buried alongside him or her.
Okay.
Now, you will notice that this grave looks small.
Yeah.
That's primarily because they were burying their dead in a fetal position.
Okay.
So the hands and the legs towards the chest
Wow.
and on their side. So that's why it looks small. So each of these 6 tombs will have a similar format of burying their dead.
What I find fascinating as well, Ajmal, is when this community would have been thriving and 2,000 or so years ago, this place actually wouldn't have been a desert for that long at that time.
You're right. It was a lot greener than it is right now. This was right about after the Iron Age when desertification actually was taking over the landscape.
Yeah.
So yes, indeed, it was not as we see today, but better thriving conditions for humans back then.
It's just, yeah, it's fascinating to know that this area was just so much different,
Yes, very much.
and will be
To
again
present day.
in the future.
It will be again in a few thousand years.